Hey yogis, today we're going to take care of our hip flexors. We're going to do both strengthening and lengthening for them, but of course we'll hit the whole body too. So you might want 2 blocks, a blanket, and even a strap for today's practice. So take some time to get yourself set up, and then we'll meet at the top of the mat in Tadasana, connecting to earth and connecting to breath. Observe as the breath develops. If you haven't done it yet, add that friction feeling, the warmth of Ujjayi breath. Take your right hand, place those fingers right around your belly button. As you inhale, let it expand. And then finish the inhale up at the lungs, at the chest. As you exhale, let the chest come down. And pull your belly toward your spine. Just twice more. Inhale, expand at the belly. Finish at the chest. Exhale, let the chest fall. Draw the belly button toward the spine. Strong lower bandhas as you inhale again, filling the belly and the chest. Exhaling from chest, drawing belly button toward spine. Let's release both arms, sweep them wide and up overhead. And tilt over to the right side. Still strong in the feet, strong in lower bandhas as you make some room in the side body. Inhale through center. Exhale, tip to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, dive just halfway down. Hands land at the thighs. Let's get some length in the spine. Keep the sits bones up as you slowly now bend into forward fold. We'll take hold of the elbows and give it some time. Straighten especially the right knee here. And now just the left knee. And then both knees. Take your hands to shins, lengthen the spine, inhale. Take some more weight to toes, just a little. And then fold back down. Wrap your arms around your legs. Stay long all the way through the spine. Last one, fingertips to shins or the floor if you can reach, lengthen. Exhale, bow again. Gaze can be right at the tops of your feet. Stay really long all the way through the spine to the base of the skull. Fingertips to the floor, lengthen. Exhale, hands to your waist. Tip your heart up, stand tall. And find neutral spine. Bring the feet close together. We'll take a sun A. Inhalation, reaching upward. Exhale, dive down. Inhale flat. Exhale, step or leap to step your way back, lowering. Inhale your heart opening. Exhale, downward facing dog. About 5 breaths. You can move around. Let's just feel the legs. Sweep the right leg out behind. And then step it back down. Sweep the left leg out behind. And then step it back down. Come onto toes, bend knees, look forward. You'll step or pounce to the top of your mat. Lengthen and fold. Rise. Release. Sneak a sun B in here. Bend your knees, sweep the arms up. Dive down. Flat back. Step or leap to lower. Chaturanga. Inhale a heart opening, full inhalation. Exhale, downward facing. We'll sweep the right leg up high. Place that foot between your hands. Settle back, heel down as you create warrior one, touching sky on the inhale. And exhale, hands come down. Find that vinyasa. Downward facing, sweep left leg high. Place this foot between your hands, ground the back heel, rise, warrior one. Exhaling, chaturanga. Open heart. Adho Mukha. Connect. On toes, bend the knees. Look forward as you step or leap. Long spine. Fold over. Bend knees. Utkatasana. And Tadasana. Take your feet hips distance apart. We'll get into the shoulders a little bit. So take the hands, interlace them low behind. Open the heart. Bend the knees as you fold forward. Eventually straightening or almost straightening legs. Neck is loose. Put a bend in the knees as you sweep your arms up like Utkatasana. You're going to shift weight toward the right side, lift the left knee up. Extend the leg forward for 5, 4, 3, 2. Give me figure 4. Cross that ankle over. Bend the right knee, hands to heart. Get low. You might go real low. Forearms to shin bone. Let's breathe into the opening. Keep a little light lift on the heart. I'm going to spring back up, left knee lifts, this time twisting, right hand to the outside of the knee or maybe as far as the foot. Heart lifts, Gaze to the side or even backward. Okay, this is slow motion. I'm going to find a warrior two. Left leg steps behind. Arms stay good and wide. Open across the hips. Reach outward. Belly in. Straighten both legs, reach upward, parallel the feet. And exhale to dive down. Long in spine as you fold forward. Flat back. You're going to pivot around to frame this right foot. Now you might want that left cushion underneath the left knee. Maybe not. Sit up tall. Open the arms out wide and spin to the right. Use your core to twist a little deeper. Sitting upright. Then tip it back like Peaceful Warrior. Right hand slides down the back leg, left arm lifts. Keep lifting on the heart like crazy. And then switch your arms. Left hand slides down that back leg, right arm reaches up. Let the hips move forward as the heart still lifts. And then roll down, we'll frame this foot and straighten out at the right leg, flexing that foot so you can bow. Bend the right knee, send the hips forward again. Now this could feel like enough, like just letting the hips sink forward, softening at the left side. If you'd like more for it, tip to the left, bend the back knee and pull that foot in close. A little twist to the right, so the heart's pointing to the right. If one angle is too easy, find another. Face forward, release. Tuck the back toes, plant hands as you sweep right leg up high behind. This time walk your hands close to that back foot. You can stack the right leg on top, lift it high. You can even bend the knee, point the knee upward. And start to think about wild things. So walk your hands as far forward as you think you want to flip this over. So right foot gravitates left, touching down. Hips lift, right arm reaches toward the floor. If you touch, you touch. You could get wheel. Don't have to. And slowly spin it over. Right leg still lifting, plant hands, and find your flow. Downward facing dog. Allow the heart to slow a little bit. Sometimes that means coming down to knees, but never for too long. On toes, bend the knees. You'll step or leap to the top. Lengthen. Take a fold. Bend knees for Utkatasana. And stand up Tadasana. Let's bring the feet a little bit wider. Once again, we'll find the shoulders. So interlace hands behind, other finger on top this time. Soften your knees, really get into the chest. And then bow over legs. They might straighten. Keep your neck as free as can be. Rebend the knees, reach the arms up. Transfer weight to the left foot so you can lift the right knee up, stand tall. Let's extend the right leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, find figure 4. Cross the ankle over, hands to heart, come down low. Slight lift at your chest. Stand all the way up, lift the right knee. Take hand to the outside of that knee or even as far as the foot. Standing twist, right arm reaching back, gaze to the side, or perhaps even behind you. This is going to become Warrior Two. You're almost already there. We're just stepping back with care and reaching outward powerfully. A soft gaze up toward the top fingers. Next, inhale, reaching up, straighten both legs, parallel the feet. Get your arms out open wide, point the thumbs down, take the backs of the hands together behind you. That could be enough, or some of you will flip that, point the palms together, finding reverse prayer. Belly in, heart lifts, and fold. If you're very open, you can actually use your hands to traction your spine.
In the last few moments here, if you're looking to strengthen your hip flexors, you can actively use them right here. It's that squeeze at the very top of the thigh and the very deep low belly that can help you fold in a little farther. If you're not feeling that, you can bend your knees and maybe feel it a little better. A few more breaths. And then flat back, open the arms. Hands to the ground. Pivot around. We'll frame the left foot and set the back knee down. Here's where you might decide to get cushion. Okay, climb up tall. Okay, lifting or pressing into that left foot. So you never want to just totally sink. There's always some effort to be made to protect your joints. Okay, open the arms out wide. Tall in the heart as you twist to the left. Use your exhales and obliques to find more depth in the twist. And like peaceful, back hand tracks down back leg, right arm reaches up, lift on the heart. And switch the arms. Inhale to reach up and then touch down. Frame the foot, extend this leg, flex the foot so you can bow. We're never on autopilot, and always figuring out where we can learn, where the stretch lives, how the heart is responding, how the breath is responding. Peeking forward. We'll bend this front knee, send the hips forward a little bit. Pay attention to what's happening at the hip flexors. If you're craving more for them, tip a little bit to the right, bend that back knee, reach for the foot, pull it in. Keep a lift on the heart, so even the upper back is working for you. And then face forward and release, tucking back toes. Sweep the left leg out behind. You'll walk your hands toward the back foot for standing split. Opening the hip. and even bending that top knee. Okay, walking the hands forward as you consider a wild thing, drifting this top foot off to the right. When the hands feel comfortable, let it happen, flip it over. Hips up. Left fingers reach toward the ground. If they touch. Don't force it. Maybe you're in a wheel, maybe not. Big breaths. Okay, right fingers roll in so you can roll all the way over. Left leg still lifting. Find your flow. Downward facing dog. A few breaths. Set your knees down. Let's bring it into puppy. So reach your arms forward. Press your armpits toward the ground. Keep the sits bones right above the knees. Aiming to get the chin down. For one or two of you out there, if you're feeling like you're really, really open already in your neck, you can get a little additional height for your chin, get into some cervical spine extension, only if that feels totally good. Okay? Got about 12 breaths. And I'm going to climb back up. Remove the blanket. Meet again in downward facing dog. You'll sweep your right leg out high behind. Open the hip, bend the knee. Let the foot drift a little bit toward the left. Could gaze up and over that left shoulder. Let's tuck the right knee behind the right wrist. I'm going to set up for some pigeon play. So sitting upright with your pigeon, extend that back leg pretty far back. Lift the heart. Okay, and we'll bend that back knee. Pull the foot in first. It's more like a frog to start. You're aiming to get this foot in as close as you can. Beware of tipping too much to the right. You want to be relatively balanced in your hips to get the most you can from it. Spend a little time. It's not only stretch, it's also release.
Okay, options to take this to mermaid or even to king pigeon. Mermaid has the foot and the elbow. King pigeon reaches back behind. You could also flip the grip or get a strap. Some of you will reach right up and overhead to find this. Okay, strapping the foot, send the elbow wide to get clearance in the shoulder. Flex the foot just to keep the strap and walk your hands up. Keep a lift on the heart, slight energy of tuck of the tail just to draw the belly back, protect the low spine. Gaze is high. A slow release for it. Let's fold forward. You could even get a twist and the left arm underneath. So you can lean away from that right outer hip and get some stretch there. All right, you're gonna climb back onto hands, tuck the back toes, lift the right knee up so you can flip over. Again, find a wild thing. And press the ground with your feet so the butt squeezes, they lift your hips, and if you want to find that wheel, go ahead. And one more phase of it, if you're still feeling really open, you can bend that right knee until it sets on the ground. No worries. If we're not here, push the ground away, breathe 3 breaths. Come out in stages. I'm going to roll slowly over. Find your plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, downward facing. Breathe. Okay, between the sides, you're going to get your knees down again. I'm going to get the chest even more open. So if you've got those blocks, take your blocks. You're going to place your elbows right on them. And clasp hands. Let your chest come toward the ground. Just like puppy. And about 10 more breaths. We'll re-extend the arms, climb on out of it. Meet at downward dog. Sweep the left leg out behind. You're going to open the hip, bend the knee, and let the foot drift kind of to the right.
Could look up and over that right shoulder. And then we'll tuck left knee behind the left wrist. Maintaining your upright pigeon for a little while. So you can really get that back leg back. Trying to smush the top right hip against the ground. Lift the heart. Expand the front ribs. And we'll make it a Bakasana style shape. That's frog. So take that back foot in, and your work is to pull the foot in good and close to the right hip or the right side seat. Again, be aware of just tipping too much weight to the left, because then you'll lose the stretch. Balance out at the hips. Partially a stretch, partially a release. And if you'd like to, turn this into mermaid, foot in the elbow, or into king pigeon practice. One option is with a strap. You can lasso the foot. Right hand grabs, elbow goes wide, face forward. Both hands grab the strap. And walk in a little closer. Use your gaze too. Loving release. Folding pigeon forward, maybe even into twist. Right arm underneath. Lean the heart away from your left hip. Climb back up on hands. And tucking the back toes. You're going to flip over to the right so we can revisit Wild Thing. You can always pause at shallow if it doesn't feel good. Otherwise, lift the hips like crazy. Left hand toward earth. Maybe it touches. You could find wheel. You don't have to. If you're still feeling open, set the left knee on earth. Push the ground away. Then come on out in slow motion. Plank pose, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, downward dog. Slow the breathing. All right, we're going to sweep the right leg up. And kind of changing the subject. I'm going to step the right foot as far forward as you can. Practicing split at this point. So get any prop you may need. We'll spend a good 10 breaths with it upright, or you can always be on a bolster. Use your blocks, of course. Wherever you are, just be your own best cheerleader. Doing awesome. Always good to find the angle. It isn't quite so easy. Okay, if you got a little more in you, you can stay at split and bend this back knee. Now, if that's not happening, come back to this shape in a lunge. I'd cushion up the bottom knee. And then when you bend this time, because we already did it grabbing with the right hand, do it with your left hand. It's just going to change the angle and change the opening big time. Point your chest forward, maybe even down as you pull that foot in. Others in split are going to bend the back knee and work toward that frog feeling shape again. And a slow release. Let's all tip way over to the right so we can find wide legs, pointing the toes up. Do what you got to do to get there. Okay. Folding through the center. Climb on up. You get a hold of at least one block if you don't have one in your hand yet, or something this size. You're going to take kind of a Baddha Konasana, but the feet are going to embrace the block. If you feel tight in your hips, good idea to get up to a little bit of height. Block or blanket. Okay, let the sits bones be right down on the ground, not in front of you, and perhaps behind you. That would be very open. You'll tip forward. Last phase of this one, if you want a little more depth, is to take your feet up onto the block. Push them far away enough so that if you were to tip forward, theoretically, your head would drop underneath your heels. Come on out. Okay, keep the general shape, but face forward on the mat. This is an opportunity for Bhuja Pidasana, shoulder pressure pose, perhaps to Titibhasana, to crow to your vinyasa, but get through vinyasa any way you can. You have primed your legs perfectly to come up onto your shoulders. Cross the feet if you can. You might have to place hands down in front of your hips first. Use a little rocking momentum. Keep the heart lifted as you go, and lift and cross the ankles for 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs. Lift the seat for 3, 2, 1. Maybe you can tip into crow for 3, 2, 1, and find chaturanga. And a flow. Into downward facing. And we'll sweep the left leg up. And slide this foot as far forward as you can. Remember, we're headed into Hanumanasana. So you might even just slide all the way in. Use any prop. Take a little time upright. Okay, we're going to grab the back foot, and remember you can do that in a lunge position if you'd prefer. Or opt to come up onto some height. So putting like a block underneath the left side seat can really make this more accessible. Think frog. Pull the foot close to the outer hip. Find a productive angle. And then release it. You're going to tip way over to the left. Do what you have to do to find wide-legged seat. One more time into wide legs. So now we are
getting pretty deep today, so you can, if you want to go deeper, take your heels up onto some blocks. Don't feel like you have to, of course. And tip forward wherever we are, productive in our own body, giving ourselves the medicine we need. Sometimes it's more rest, sometimes that's more vigor. All the way up. Gonna face the front. One last big hip flexor effort before we stretch them out with back bends. So I'd encourage you to take blocks alongside you. We're headed toward Lolasana variations. These are incredibly strengthening for your hip flexors. So the idea is to send the knees in front of your chest, create as tiny a ball as you can. So not only are the knees up lifting into the chest a lot, but the heels are squeezing toward the seat a lot. Now you can point or flex your feet, doesn't really matter which. Hands out in front of the hips, take an inhale, and lift on an exhale for 5, 4, 3, squeeze, 1, set it down. Little recovery like this. Plant your feet, send the fingers back, and open the heart. You can even wiggle a little bit, get into the front of the arms, in front of the shoulders. And then come back up, plant the blocks again. We're going to do it a second way this time. So cross other shin on top. You're going to lift up first, then see if you can send your heart forward, tuck the feet under your body. So that is kind of phase 2 of it. I'm kind of flirting with the jump back style, okay? Take an inhale. Exhale, lift it. 3, 2, 1, heart forward, knees squeeze. For 5, 4, 3, 2, you got it. Set it all the way down. Same thing, legs forward, fingers back. Go as far back as feels good. Keep a lift on your heart. Hands might go wider to accommodate the opening. Okay, let's recline. Extend the legs. Experience Shavasana just for the evening out. Returning to center. We don't want to get too cool because we're going to insert 3 back bends. Okay, I'm going to take fish into wheel, but take the back bends that would serve you today. You can always think out of the box too. You can hit scorpion. You can hit puppy again. You can even take your puppy to the wall, drag your hands up the wall, melt your chest toward it. All of these are awesome. Set yourself up. And climb in when you're ready. 5 breaths. And take it down or up, get some recovery. If you wish to at this point, you could of course bring it to a wall, chest facing the wall for depth. Same thing, I like to set up in fish because my least
bendy back bend is in the upper spine, as it is for most people, the thoracic. This helps me isolate the thoracic, use muscle there, open the intercostals, the ribs first, and then plant hands and lift. Walk in nice and close. Think of puppy. And then you can climb down or climb up.
Recover. All right, one option, set your feet up toward the wall. Same thing, you're gonna have the opportunity to walk your feet all the way up though and kick into the middle of the room if you so choose.
Don't give up. These are always options. Get creative. Let hands do what's serving you on any given day. You're going to take the option to walk your feet up. You got to get your hands in pretty close. So you can almost think of handstand, gazing between your thumbs. One foot up the wall, followed by the other, and one leg in toward the middle.
Recovery, anyway. Could even be child's pose. Get one more piece of exertion before we wind this down. I invite you into an inversion, and with the option to move it toward a back bend. I'm going to do it in headstand so we can see that even in headstand you can find some pretty satisfying hip flexor opening and spinal extension. But handstand works especially well, so does forearm stand. You've done your split, so if you are new to floating up, use your split. See if that helps you get control on the way up. Bend your knees and let the hip flexors open. Coming out, final recovery, it's going to be Shavasana. Always the option to elevate your legs.
this is meditation. It's also essential recovery. So the urge to rush out needs to be examined if you've got that. Plenty of you don't. We observe as the energy dissipates. And we watch for the moments where even the mind and the thoughts dissipate. So all that's left is clear seeing. Return to full breath. And little movement. Into bigger movement and a final seat.
Thanks for tending to you today, Yogi. Stay in touch. Love to hear from you. Have a great week.